Now we're all ready for paint. As always, a quick review on what materials and equipment we're going to be using. Very important, especially for the beginners when you're starting only painting, to have this color wheel, preferably sorry, to have your own color wheel where each paint corresponds to some paint in your actual palette. Again, a reference picture, ready-made watercolor paper with the sketch. I always have few paper cutouts for swatches when I'm mixing some paint, and two brushes will be today, all synthetic, this one and smaller one. That's all. Of course, kitchen towel for dabbing, cleaning, some water already set. Let's start with picking the paint. We have here two major colors. Color of the outer skin, this dry brownish paint, and color of the onion body itself. Let's start with this one. Again, we will go through the all the algorithm color mixing and picking based on the system when you have in place color wheel done. Now, what you're gonna do is find closest match to this color on your color wheel, and there is no brainer. This is only color. The closest match is yellow. All the time when we get something, let's take some yellow, I guess this one. It should be primary yellow. Any primary yellow will do. We will try it and try to compare it. Not quite good. For this purpose, to adjust it, we need to bring in a complementary color, which is violet. Violet in my palette, I believe somewhere here. Let's see. Is this violet? Yeah. And I will mix it with yellow until I get desirable effect. As you can see, this is 100% match. I can make it brighter, I can make it darker, but this is exactly what we need. So now we have first pair. It's yellow, primary yellow and violet. And the second one, it's very easy. So color of this skin, the closest is orange. Okay. As you will learn from the future tutorials, orange, one of the, obviously for me, one of the most important colors, paints in the palette. Again, comparing, not even close. What we're gonna do, we're gonna introduce complementary color blue. For the orange is primary blue, which is I am using phthalo blue red shade, could be cobalt blue. Now phthalo blue, I think, is it this one? Too much. Somewhere like this, and again we're having practically perfect match. So of course we can adjust it to whatever level we need. As you can see, we can have all these different nuances within this brownish, from colder for the shadows, for the golden browns in light areas. If we need to make it a little bit more golden color, so I could introduce some yellow, but preferably something like a yellow orange, or maybe I've got the color called quinacridone gold, which could be used. But if you don't have them, this combination will be enough. So let's go through this once more. So as always, I will be using my paints by Halbane. So we've got two main colors, which is orange and yellow. You can see the composition. You see this. I have included the name of pigments for the paints so that you would know what kind of paints I'm using, because different manufacturers, they would have different names perhaps for the paints, but if you operate with the pigment numbers, there is no problem whatsoever. So for the orange, complementary color is phthalo blue, red shade, and for the yellow, permanent violet. As an extra color, as mentioned, it could be some orange yellow, or perhaps quinacridone gold. So this is basically it for choosing colors, mixing colors. This algorithm applies always for anything like I do. As you noticed, I never use brown colors of any sort, umbras, siennas. No, always mix these shades. The only thing we're missing at the moment, we sorted these things, shadows, but I always make shadows with the composition again of orange and phthalo blue, but in this case I'm adding a little bit more phthalo blue so I can create warmer shades of gray, and by adding more blue it will be shifting toward the black. So that also exactly the same composition, orange and blue. This is why that pair is one of the most used my paints, because as you can see it's so versatile, so universal. You can create really huge range of different shades with these two. You don't need black, you don't need any kind of browns in your palette, so you definitely will save yourself loads of money if you master this composition. But again, orange has to be single pigmented, something cadmium suitable, and single pigmented phthalo blue. Let's bring that thing back again just to point it. So see that pigment name for phthalo blue is PB15. For the orange it could be PO73, 62 or 20, but it has to be something like PO, not PY, not like PR, PO, natural orange pigment. And that is actually a general rule, especially for your primary colors like red, yellow, and blue. They're supposed to be single pigmented paints. And of course the quality of the paints really matter. Ideally you would like to go after professional artist grade paints, not cheap stuff from student grade. I don't believe in that. Okay, that part is over. Our next part is underpainting and detailing.